Hello friends, let's start today's session and its first topic, it's related to the recurring deposits. Now, a recurring deposit is also a type of the term deposit, but a fixed amount is deposited at the regular intervals. Let's say we are depositing amount on monthly basis or on quarterly basis. In general, it is monthly basis, but on a fixed particular periodic duration intervals, you are depositing the funds with the bank, deposit the amount with the bank, and that forms a recurring deposit, and that is for a predetermined tenure, right? So on maturity, you'll be getting what? You'll be getting the principal amount that you have already paid, and also you'll be earning the interest upon it. So that is what you'll be getting at the maturity. So what are the key characteristics? First of all, it's a fixed monthly installment. There is fixed tenure and there are assured returns. Now the point is that who can be opening this recurring deposit account? Like individuals can be opening it in individual name, single name. They can be opening it jointly, like two or more persons can be opening it jointly. And generally the minor is also allowed with guardian, that they can be operating a recurring deposit account, right? So that is basically allowed. Now, point is, let's say you were to deposit rupees 1000 each and every month. Okay, at a fixed particular time period, you were to deposit this amount, and you skipped one installment, or there was some delay in the installment. So for that particular delay, there will be the penal interest that will be charged for the particular period, right? So whatsoever the delay is there for that particular case, the penalty will be charged. So there will be two outcomes related to it. So if, let's say if there is delayed payment in that particular scenario, I'm telling you, there will be 2 points. First one, it's related to the penalty interest. So first of all, the penal interest will be charged for the delayed period, like I told you. And secondary, it's related to that if you have not paid the penal interest, in that scenario, the maturity amount is reduced by the penal charges, right? Maturity amount will be reduced by the penal charges. Let's say your previous maturity was 13,025 rupees. So now you have not paid for the you have not paid the penal interest for the delayed period. For now, your maturity amount won't be the same. Clear with it? So there will be two consequences if there is delay in the installment, right? After that, it's about the unclaimed deposits with bank. This topic is very, very important, right? So this is related to the unclaimed deposits with the bank. Unclaimed deposit means that particular deposit which is overdue, right? Let's say, and for the which is not operated for the 10-year period. So if the deposit is in saving account or in current account, and for the if it is not operated for 10 years period, then it is said to be the unclaimed deposit. And further, we are talking about the term deposit, like we are talking about the fixed deposit or the recurring deposit. In that scenario, if the FD is overdue, if the RD is overdue, and after being overdue, if it is not picked for or not operated for next 10 years, then it is said to be the unclaimed deposit. Okay. And there is a specific rule for the unclaimed deposit that is given under the DEAF, that is Depositors Education and Awareness Fund. So these guidelines are given under the section 26 of the Banking Regulation Act. So some sections are very much important, whether you're preparing for JIB, CIB bank promotions. So this is one sort of the section which is actually very important, right? So let's say if we're having the unclaimed deposit, then there is a rule by the Reserve Bank of India that the banks are to transfer such funds to the DEF account, that is to the Depositors Education and Awareness Fund account, that is to be transferred, right? And further, you are to activate, it's a duty of the bank so as to act so as to basically track inactive funds, and also the bank is to maintain the transparency and customer protection. And what sort of funds will be there? Let's say if the amount is overdue, or let's say it is not claimed for the 10-year period, then it should be transferred to the DEF account. And the fund is maintained by whom? This DEF fund, this Deposit Education and Awareness Fund, this is maintained by the RBI. The Reserve Bank of India does maintain it, right? So principal amount along with the interest which is accrued, that will be transferred to the def account in that scenario. And let's say even if the amount is transferred to the def account and the customer appears in the bank, the customer can be taking care or can be getting back the funds back. It's not the case that the funds are transferred and the ownership is gone, nothing like that. Simply the customer is to showcase their KYC, the new KYC is to be done, the complete formalities are to be done, and once the formalities have been done, the amount will be paid back by the bank. So it's a case that the fund is transferred to a def account, and let's say customer went to the bank. The customer is not to wait for the period that the amount will be released by the Reserve Bank of India, then the customer will be getting the amount. No, the customer is just to complete the KYC and everything, and the bank is to pay the amount to the customer without any hasslement. And further, the bank will be sending a claim thereafter to the Reserve Bank of India, and the amount will be reversed from the def account to the bank. So this is the procedure. So this is the procedure. And when even the amount is there in the def, when it is there in the deposit education and awareness fund, then also it will be earning the interest rate. So let's say if the amount was transferred from the saving account, it will be earning the saving interest rate. And let's say if it was a term deposit and it is overdue, it was earning the saving interest rate, it will be earning the same till the maturity, till the amount is drawn back. Clear with it? So that's about the def. And after that, it's about the nomination facility. It's about the nomination facility. See, the legal framework for the nomination facility, it is given under the section 45ZA to 45ZF. So I just simply name it ACE. So you just need to memorize ACE and DSL. Now what is this? This is, let me just explain to you. This is a shortcut so as to memorize that what section is belonging to what particular nomination rule. So it is 45ZA and 45ZC and 45ZE, right? These are the sections. And D means the 45ZA is related to the nomination rules in deposit accounts. And the 45ZC is related to the uh, nomination rules in the secured articles, right? In the case of secured articles. And 45ZE is related to nomination rules under the lockers. Clear with it? So that is about the nomination rules, and this nomination facility is applicable to all the deposit accounts, all the safe custody articles, all the safe deposit lockers, right? And these rules are available for the individuals as well as for the joint holders as well as for the sole proprietors. For the current account purposes, these will be available. Now, previously there was a nomination limit, like the nomination limit was limited to that only one nomination can be there. And if it was the case of the locker where it is jointly operated, then the two nomination were allowed. But now the scenario is totally changed. There are the updations related to that the up to four nominees can be there. Up to four nominees can be there, and there are rules related to the survivor clause or related to the nominee clause. There are the new updations related to it. We have already covered that particular topic previously, so kindly please confirm that if you are known about that particular topic or not. Kindly please do confirm the same at the earliest about the new nomination rules. So when we're talking about the new nomination rules, as I told you that previously only one nomination was allowed. In general, if we are talking about any kind of accounts, any kind of the particular account type, only one nomination was allowed. And in case of lockers, if it was jointly operated, maximum two nominations could be there. Maximum two nominations could be there as per the IBA rule. But now that is not the scenario. Now the updation says that the person can be having up to four nominees. That if there is an account, you can be having four persons who are nominated to that particular account, and the nomination would be of two types. The first type, it's related to the simultaneous nomination. As the name suggests, all the persons who are nominated, all the persons who are nominated, they will be acting simultaneously, and there will be a percentage share which will be specified. Let's say person A is maintaining an account where the person B, C, D, these are nominated, right? Now B is having the share of 50%, C is having share of 25%, and D is having share of 25%. Clear with it? Now, when person A is on the demise of person A, when the person A dies, then the nominee persons, let's say there was amount of rupees 10 lakh in the account. Now the person B will be getting 5 lakh rupees, person C will be getting 2.5 lakh, and person D will be getting 2.5 lakh. Clear with it? That is about the simultaneous nomination. That is about the simultaneous nomination, and it's compulsory that the total share percentage should be 100%. So it should be divided in such a manner that the total percentage should be 100%, right? The second type of nomination, that's basically the successive nomination. The first type I told you, the second type is the successive nomination. Now, successive nomination means, let's say person A nominated person B, C, and D, right? Now, first of all, if the person B is alive after the death of person A, then the person B will be the nominee. If person B is no more, then person C will be the nominee. If persons B and C are no more, then person D will be the nominee. So something like this. So nominees are arranged in the priority order, right? So the next nominee will become eligible after the death of the previous nominee. Let's say the first nominee was wife, the second nominee was son, the third nominee was daughter. So that will be the same order, and that's applicable to all the three types of the accounts. Clear with it? Kindly do confirm the same. And nomination is one kind of thing that is basically can be altered at any time. You can be canceling at any time, and definitely the customer can be asking the same, so as to print or not to print the nominee name on the passbook. It's up to the will of the account holder. Clear so far? Okay. Now let's move ahead toward the settlement of claims in respect of the deceased depositors. It's about the settlement of the claims in case of the deceased depositors. So these rules are also taken care of under the section 45ZA to 45ZF, because when the person is deceased, the nomination rules will be applicable. So definitely the banks must be following the nomination rules very much strictly. Very much strictly, that must be taken care of. Now, first of all, it's about the accounts with the survivor or the nominee clause, where the survivor is available or where the nominee is available. In that scenario, what is to be done? What is to be done? Let's say person A and B are having the joint account on either or survivor basis. Person A and B are having the joint account on either or survivor basis. Now, person A dies. Person A dies. Now, it's either a survivor basis. So, person B will be having the full control. Person B will be having the full control. Even though the nominee was person C, still the nominee will be having no role into it. The person C will be having no role into it because the survivor is there, person B is there, so person B will be having the hold. And also the case, let's say if it was former or survivor case, even if it was former or survivor case, in that scenario also, if the person A dies, the first account holder dies, the former dies, now the survivor will be having the full hold of the account, right? All the deposits will be belonging to person B now. Now, the third scenario we are considering, that this is the scenario related to a joint account, jointly operated account is there. Now, if the person A dies, if the person A dies, in that scenario, the legal heir of person A, the legal heirs of person A, along with person B, will be getting the balance. If it is jointly operated, I'm talking about. Clear with it? These rules are very much important to understand. These are very much important, and these are the basic rules that we must be concentrating upon. Clear with so far? Kindly do confirm if I have understood the topic so far. Right? So that's about the survivor clause. So if the Account rule says it is either survivor, it is former survivor. In that scenario, the survivor will be having the authority and the funds in the account will be transferred to the surviving account holder and without any need for the legal proceeding. There is no need for the legal proceeding. Even if the nominee is designated for the account, the nominee won't be considered till the death of all the account holders. So let's say if it is A and B's for a former and survivor account or either a survivor account, let's say A or B account is there. Now A dies, B dies, then the nominee will be getting the balance. Then the payment to the nominee will be a valid discharge to the bank. Clear with it? The next case, it's about the accounts without the survivor or nominee clause. Now, where there is no survivor, where there is no nominee available, in that scenario, the legal heir will be getting the balance. The legal heir will be getting the balance. Let's say a minor account is there and minor is now deceased. The legal heir will be getting the balance. Clear with it? Same way, if an individual account was there and no nomination was done, and there was no nomination done in that case, in that scenario also, the legal heirs will be getting the balances. Clear with it? After that, it's about the that what documents are to be produced. So legal heirs, they are to produce the succession certificate, which will be telling that they are the next successor who will be getting the balances, and or it could be related to letter of administration, right? And bank is to follow the legal process before the payment. Bank is to get the legal process. The next topic, it's about the premature termination of term deposit account. Is it allowed? Premature termination? Yes, it is allowed. Let's say you have made an FDR with the bank for 1 year period, but you do require funds on urgent basis. You can be getting a premature payment, right? So premature payment is actually allowed. Premature payment is actually allowed. That's basically premature payment. But here we are talking about the premature termination, and that's about the premature termination on death. On death, we are talking about. And let's say uh, person A was having an FDR and person A died, and person A is having an FDR for a period of 1 year. But when person A died, the residual maturity was, let's say, 3 months or 4 months or even 1 month, whatsoever the period it is, but it is not matured yet. In that case, the person A's FDR can be terminated without any penalty. Without any penalty or without any preferential treatment given, the amount can be terminated, the account can be terminated, and the balance will be transferred to the saving fund account. Clear with it? And there is actually a time limit for the settlement of claims. Let's say if the uh, person dies and an application is given, there is a guideline by the Reserve Bank of India that the banks must be respecting in case of the deceased depositors. That is related to if there is nominee or survivor available, then the time period of 15 days should not be exceeding for the settlement purposes from the date of receipt of the claim, right? So if the date of from the date of receipt of claim, subject to the production of death certificate of the depositor and identification of the claims, everything is all done. It should not be exceeding 15 days. It should not be exceeding 15 days period. Then again, a very important topic, it's related to access to the safe custody lockers, return of safe custody articles with survivor or nominee clause. If there is survivor clause, if there is nominee clause, and the access to the locker or safe custody articles, can that be done? Yes, that can be done. So nominee or survivor can be allowed the access, no issues in that. They can be removing the content. And if the joint locker is there, then the access must be given jointly. So let's say if the person A and B both were having the jointly operated locker. if it is jointly operated locker. In that scenario, let's say person A dies. Now person A, legal hair of person A and B, they can be operating the account jointly. But the legal hairs are to produce a succession certificate or letter of administration, or they, and further they are to produce the death certificate and every other document which is required by the bank. Clear with it? Clear with it so far? So this is written over here. Let's say in the case the locker was jointly held. If the locker was jointly held with the instruction that the locker was to operate it under the joint operations, then the legal heirs, survivors, and the nominee, they can be operating the locker jointly. If the nominee is, let's say, there by the person A, individually, person A has nominated a person, person B has nominated one person. Now, person A has nominated person D, person A dies. So, person D and person B can be operating the account or locker jointly. Then it's case related to access to the safe deposit locker, return of safe custody articles without survivor or nominee clause. When there is no nomination, then definitely the legal process will be there. The bank is to execute the agreements with the legal heirs, and bank is to comply with the KYC guidelines. Those all things are to be done. Only then the account access will be given to the successors. Clear with it so far? And that will be all about this video. Thank you so much and see you again in the next video. If you want to get the complete course of JAIIB, the course is available in English only language also, and also the bilingual course is available. Simply just do WhatsApp JAIIB to the number 83609 44207, and I'll be sharing all the details with you. So thank you so much and see you again.